Hello, everyone. Welcome. I'm Angela Ye, founder of Ye Ideology. We're a talent strategies consulting firm, and we specialize in empowering progressive leaders to continually advance and sustain thriving careers where they're seen for the quality of their progressive abilities and compensated and claiming that outsized impact that they deliver. Today, I wanted to just really quickly say that we are live streaming from both LinkedIn and YouTube. So if you have any questions, feel free to drop your questions in the chat if you have a thought, and I'll address them as soon as they come up. Also, we can always answer them afterwards. So today, I wanted to talk to you folks about design leadership. I think that we've been in the space of helping people evolve and advance their career. And I would say that at the very high point, I've watched people I've watched every permutation of every type of career path out there, particularly those that are progressive, unconventional, multifaceted, more complex abilities than most people can understand. And we're talking design, strategy, innovation, but we're working with people who have a high capacity. You're probably evolving if you are finding that you are in this space. If you are, you're probably evolving your expertise faster than your industry can see you. So one of the things I wanted to talk about is this trend that's, while we know that the world is changing now, evolving, changing faster than we've ever experienced ever before. In fact, for many of the clients that we're working with, we're bringing more value because those business models continually change and they need help. But what's happening is while the world is changing more rapidly than ever, it is literally affecting that space of design, strategy, and innovation, and it's affecting our industry to the point to yesterday, or not yesterday, 2 days ago, where we had a LinkedIn Live, we were talking about this, where it's even affecting those that are in this profession. It's affecting our industry, our careers. Um, and let me say that I've worked with people at all levels of their career path. Let me talk today about those that are at the peak. I've worked with people who are second half of their career, last quarter of their career. So I've gotten so many data points, so many heuristic experiences, what it takes for someone if you are at the peak of your career, what does it take for you to take that career and even understand what else is there? How high can I continue to take this? How far can I extend my career? So this is the most challenging component. A lot of people I meet at this point, there are internal questions that people have come to me with, such as, is this all there is in my career? Is that all that I can offer? And where I want to take my career and my expertise, that higher next level, is this even seen or even appreciated? Are my abilities matching um, with the market and being seen and requested and needed? Uh, so many questions like this, right? Not just what am I building and is this what I need? There's that perspective of this, but then also, is this what the world will bear? And I would tell you that with most people that I deal with, not everyone, but I would say a good majority of you, I would say that just in all the decades of time that I've been a recruiter, I would say that most professionals at that top culmination of that bell curve, there is always something more. There is always opportunities to evolve, and there are places and companies where your expertise at that next higher level is absolutely needed. But it does require a different quality of thinking. I mean, let's just spin back to if, I do have someone here. Wait, well, I want to say one thing, and there's a question here. What? Mm, how do you know? How do you know if you're at this point, right? By the way, when you were at that high point of high leadership, let me just say that in watching people's entire careers, like if you're in your 20s, So let's just say if you can round out your career, most people, when I ask you, when do you want to end your career? And by the way, in this circle, these are people where you love your craft, your passion for what you do, and you've built a profession out of it. You are that small percentage of the world where you have built a profession out of your career. That is a very small Venn diagram. A lot of people in the world, they separate it. They've got their 9 to 5 and they have their passions and their hobbies. And if you have, not only have you done this once, but multiple times and curated a viable, profitable, successful career up to the point of high leadership, and there's a lot pulling at you. There are a lot of, it's very complex. There are a lot of aspects to this to analyze. Um, I will tell you some different data points. I do find that most people, even at this high level of impact, I do find that a lot of people, through the work that we've done through recruitment and then through coaching, we found that a lot of people are not necessarily, you deliver a lot of impact. We're talking so many incredible layers of value and impact. But the question here is, are you earning what it takes to deliver that impact? And for many, I do find that I found like a lot of people in this industry hover in the 200s and 300s, when in reality, you're probably delivering a much higher level of impact that merits more. I mean, we've brought people to higher compensations, even at this high level of leadership, doubling and even tripling and even a lot more. I mean, we've raised compensation in this industry to 500 and even total packages of viable, we're talking truly viable equity, almost a mil. Okay. It is possible if you fully understand how to own and claim your worth. All right. Um, I would say, what is this one question? There's another question coming in. What are some common mistakes you've seen professionals make when they're trying to advance their career in leadership? I think that the hardest and most riskiest part of a career path really is in that top final step when we want to extend our career as long as possible. I do think that there's a final step when someone starts to get seen and they are recognized. And you get comfortable. People, I think, sometimes get comfortable being seen on that path. But when you are then evolving to that next level, it gets harder and harder. Absolutely. These positions come by fewer and farther between. I think it takes a lot more work to be seen. I do think that there's a point when you go from here to even here, a certain subtlety of an inflection point where from being seen to unseen. And I do think that this is happening quite a bit right now in this industry right now for those that are comfortable having been seen, that there's a shift in how to recognize what has shifted in your expertise, what has shifted in the world and the way they see or don't see your expertise. And then what do you need to do to change that overlap, right? What do you have to do to change that alignment? And there's a lot of alignment methods here that we walk people through. Um, I would say that many people, I've met people who are, let me just say, are several years they go into consulting or teaching or pivot into different spaces, and maintaining that height becomes more and more challenging at that topmost position. Absolutely. It gets harder. The opportunities go farther and fewer between. I have people where they give up on these leadership opportunities when they don't even realize that it's absolutely viable. But the thing here is probably leaning on traditional conventional methods. I mean, at that level, you can't rely on traditional methods of representing yourself and articulating your gift. I think it's using very conventional, basic models that are out there in the job market that do not apply when you're at that high level. Chances are, if your expertise is more multifaceted than most, traditional methods will not work. I've had a lot of people where initially, decades ago, we would turn people to other coaches, and people actually came back to us came back to us after they worked with other coaches, branding consultants, branding and writing their resume, coaches telling them to just pick a direction and run with it. Ah, if you've been in our industry of design, strategy, and innovation, would you go around building, if you had a client? So here's an interesting mistake I think that a lot of people make, and this is not just high leadership. Whatever expertise any of you have, if you had a client that just said to you, just package your first napkin sketch, just take the first draft, first beta, package it, brand it, market it, sell it. Just do it again and again and just run that business model without due diligence of refining what that product is. Would you ever do that? No matter how much money they threw at you, would you do that? Probably not. So when someone comes to me to say, just give me, how do I change and brand this phrase about me? How do I just pitch myself, rewrite my LinkedIn, rewrite my portfolio without doing any kind of introspective work about where I am and what I can truly bring to the table? There's absolutely no way now, with decades of experience and realizing how that can change and transform how you truly could connect to an opportunity. There's absolutely no way I would ever give someone false hope that some light surface level framing would solve the problem. Because I've seen enough people then land in opportunities that are not right for them. And here at that final phase of the game, somewhat like the game of chess, in those final steps, it's too risky to just jump around using superficial methods and not fully understand the full extent of what's at stake. We're talking when you are at high leadership, we're talking at the highest peak. Let me just say that even someone who's at the highest peak of a massive enterprise scale corporation or running a full scale consultancy yourself, you're at that high level, you've gone that far. I think it's a little risky to just jump at another opportunity without full due diligence of understanding the full ramifications, the impact, the value, alignment at that level. So many points of this, right? It is too risky to do this on a surface level and trust your own judgment if you have not run through that cycle enough and developed that deeper level of acuity of understanding what's right for them, what's right for you. How are you going to ensure that this opportunity, if you're engaging in this, is right for you? I've met, to be honest, too many people that choose opportunity, no matter how due diligence they think that they've looked at the opportunity. Then we're talking like 17 levels of conversation here, right? And how do you see that from all those points? This is understanding how to hold space for what's right for you and that entity, you and that company, that client to the nth degree. We're talking even on signing level, even in those first 3 months when you begin, what happens? How do you qualify these opportunities? Even when you win a massive corporate client or a massive engagement, how do you know if it's truly right for you and truly right for them? And when you do get to that point, that's when the clarity, that's when the deeper level work comes. That's when you understand how to take this to the next level. That's when your clients finally see the difference between you and all of the different leaders that are out there. Okay. Just a quick comment to that, this is the work that we do in Thrive by Design for the people that we work with that are in the space of design, strategy, innovation. If you are a progressive change agent, if you're a pioneer, you're far beyond what your industry can see. Do you want to leave it up to them to gauge you, or do you want to understand how to? I don't say it's intentional, passive, but wouldn't you want to be more intentional in how you can understand what's better, understand how to quickly and easily understand which opportunities are better for you, right? I think in those final stages, we see people waiting too long, coursing through too many networking conversations, too many interviews, risking viable opportunities, risking moving through them not with full due diligence and clear method. Um, and we have a method that's absolutely proven time and time again. It's unbelievable. When we began this process, never would I realize that people would make multiple level jumps in their career, open up hidden opportunities where there were none, taking opportunities where that didn't even exist on the job board, taking inadequate opportunities and transforming thinking and value from an employer and a massive enterprise scale corporate client's perspective. It's unbelievable. I have one testimony here I just want to share. This is with Michael Siem, who is now the VP of Global Design at Kohler. He enrolled back in 2019. And in fact, back then, um, he was VP of Design at Groen. Then after our program pivoted to Global Design Officer of Health at Reckitt, and then recently pivoted to VP of Global Design at Kohler. So here's the testimonial, that I'll just read to you. The Thrive by Design program was unexpected in such a good way. It provided me with a growth mindset, even at this level, and a valuable opportunity to engage in a deeper level discussion with corporate leadership that I've never been able to unlock before. The program's rigorous modules had a profound impact on the way I saw my potential and my clients' abilities to see me, especially in this era of career transitions and job changes. And by the way, this is several years ago, a few years ago. By making an investment in myself, I doubled my value with my company from my previous role to my new role. In this industry, that's a pretty significant jump. This investment in TBD came with a massive return. I had 3 viable offers on the table that I was truly interested in as a result. For all of you folks, if today's conversation is for all of you in design leadership, progressive, any kind of high level enterprise skill leadership, if you are at that level and you are finding that you are somewhat finding that your representation of your expertise, it's being commoditized or not seen in some way, if you need to understand on a deeper level, how much further can you take this? How much further, if you're finding that you're engaging and somehow there's something missing, if there's some kind of plateau and you want to unlock the next steps, and it's critical to you that you do this the right way, I invite you to schedule a career strategy call with us. Our next cohort is already in June, and we're already having people who are, some of those seats are already taken up. Okay. So feel free to book a career strategy call with me. The link will be down below. But let me just say that in this era where expertise evolves rapidly, becomes increasingly more multifaceted, it's essential to recognize what your unique algorithm is, your talent algorithm is. That's one of the tools that we offer so that you understand what is so uniquely valuable in what you offer that's so different from any other design leader out there. And in fact, what of all those design leadership opportunities, which ones are more viable for you? Which ones are going to really push your expertise to that next level, right? Our goal is to, if you are anywhere in your, even as early as some people in their 40s, but really are you, if you're in your 50s and your 60s and you wonder if there's anything else left, and you know that even most people I've asked, if you could retire at any age, what would it be? Most people, if you're on this track and you've gone farther than most and you've risen higher than most people say, if you could have a choice, you would never, right? If you could continue to do what you love, the way you thrive in doing it. All right. Our goal is to ensure that all leaders, progressive leaders, are not only acknowledging their expertise in what that next level is, but also understanding how to navigate all these career choices strategically and avoiding those opportunities where you're just stagnating or misaligned with what you can deliver. Chances are, if you're at that high point, for so many of you that at that high leadership level, you probably have many opportunities knocking at your door. You probably have opportunities where you're engaging, and there's points where you wonder, am I just positioning myself for something I don't want? You want to make that determination before you go in. You want to develop the acuity to see this before you step into these engagements. You want to have the strategy before you play the game. All right. This is understanding chess on a much deeper level. If you're that far along and you're playing that next higher platform of that game, you want to understand it on a high level. Our Thrive by Design Masterclass program is designed to help change makers and innovators learn how not only to advance and sustain your career, but also thrive in a way for you qualifying. Is this going to evolve me or get me stuck in something that might be taking me off path or really only delivering value for them, but not for me? What's going to allow you to gain value from this as well? Okay. Let alone at the worst, toxic scenarios, right? There's a little bit of that. I mean, there are some companies where they pull that ridiculous, lever, quality of life. Let's talk about that. That's a whole nother mini component to this, right? Own it. Let me just say that for all of you, learning how to advance and stay in your career involves knowing how to develop a career strategy plan based on your unique talent algorithm advantage, where you understand where you're more singular. Instead of waiting for the employer or the client to tell you what they think you're worth. That's if you find that you're waiting for them to tell you, there's something already wrong with that framework and that engagement. And if you are trying to own that conversation, but it's going unseen, you want to understand deeper why that's not connecting. Okay. There's nuances to this. And this is about implementing your pivot. In the final stages of our program, we have people where they will bring their interviews to our accountability sessions, to our Thriver sessions, where we're going to listen to how is it that you are bringing value, being seen, but what aspect of what you're saying or not realizing is affecting your choices and how people see you. Okay. Anyway, I hope that this helps anyone who's listening. Let me just say that while we are moving through a pivot, absolutely industry-wide, there's an inflection point that's happening. Doesn't mean that this world ends. We are going to come out on this other side, and there will be more and more businesses to realize the need of this expertise that you offer. But you need to know how to own this. You need to not leave it in their hands, because that's first step, realizing that your customers are not going to know how to see you until you know how to see your gift yourself. All right. Have a great day, everyone. If this has made any difference for you, I appreciate it. Please share this with everyone and anyone you know that might benefit from these conversations. If there's a question or a comment that you'd like us to expound on, or if you want to debate on something, let me know. I would love to hear it. Have a great day, everyone. Here's to thriving by design.